What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Canes Insight Daily Podcast, powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. It is Thursday. The offers are rolling in. Canes are heavy on the recruiting trail. It's recruiting season, man. Yesterday was the old school signing day. That calendar has changed. February is about recruiting, getting started on the next year's class, and that really just keeps on rolling through the summer. We're bringing Pete to talk about it. First, shout out to our friends at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. Pete, hop in here. There he is.
Nee, good morning.
Morning. So, guys, listening, the schedule's a little different today. It's probably going to be
Thursday's moving forward, too, I would say, right?
Yeah, probably going to be different Thursdays moving forward. We have a very exciting announcement, which is that we're going to be recording and publishing the J.D. Arteaga show, talking about what's going on with the Miami Hurricanes baseball team, 4 rings and more to come. And we'll be talking to him. I'm talking about 9:30. We record. It'll come out later today, and we'll be doing that just going forward on the show. So the Thursday daily shows, we'll start with a segment. I'll record, and then back on at 10 a.m. for a fuller show. And then we got Pete in the afternoon. So you're going to get a lot of Canes insight coming your way. So like and subscribe to the show. Croqueta King says, look, no more Cuban time. I like it. That was the New Year's resolution, Pete. I think we've been hitting it pretty good.
Yeah, man, but I don't know. You can't call yourself Croqueta King if you don't want something on Cuban time. It's looking a little funny in the light there, man. I don't know.
It's a good point. What's up, everybody in the chat? So, Pete, let's just jump right into it. Miami is on the road. A lot of offers going out. Really, to me, what's interesting about this batch of offers as we go through the list, a lot of different parts of the country getting hit, from the Midwest to the Southwest. So, walk us through some of these names here, Pete, that we'd be offering on the trail.
Yeah, and we'll do more of this, right? Because this isn't even everybody, but I just picked a handful of names here, D, that over the past few days have received offers, and we'll start at the quarterback position, right? So usually I'm spot on with the pronunciations. I'm not sure how to say this one. Will Menzel. I don't know. It's MENCL. So I didn't do enough. I didn't watch a video to hear how it's pronounced. So that's my fault. But this is an interesting one from Chandler, Arizona. 6'3", 200 pounds, 4-star in the composite, 344 nationally, as I pull up his highlights here. And what's interesting about this one is after I watched his highlights, I said, man, I like the arm talent, but I'm not sure how physically imposing he is as a runner, right? And then I see Auburn and Golesh are his top school right now, and it's the same quarterback coach, Joel Gordon, that he brought over. So it didn't strike me as an Auburn Golesh sort of quarterback, but I think moving forward, Golesh understands that he's going to need someone with the ability to push the ball downfield a little bit.
No doubt. And look, you look at the stats, 118 carries for 741 yards and 17 touchdowns. So he ran the ball in high school, goes to Chandler High. Pete, I know you're familiar with this area. It's a Phoenix suburb. That high school's produced Cam Jordan from the Saints, Deion Jordan, number 3 pick to the Dolphins, Adam Archuleta, N'Keal Harry, Amari Washington, who's now at Oregon, defensive tackle. So this has been a powerhouse school for a long, long time. I think with Will, he made his name at the Navy, formerly the Army, All-America game. Went there, played really well in the practices, in the game, 7 of 12 passing, 71 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 carries for 20 yards. So it is a new era with that all-star game where the guys playing in the game are often underclassmen due to early enrolling, NIL, a bunch of different changes to the game, which have made the old school Army All-American game that we all remember, with Trevor Lawrence playing in it, Adrian Peterson going further back than that, Vince Young. That era is kind of done. So you're looking more at underclassmen trying to make their name. And I think Will Menzel, MENCL, is one of those guys who has really increased his profile by his performance at the game. You look at the offers, this is not like a sleeper kind of quarterback. You mentioned he's a 4-star, number 22 quarterback in the country, number 5 player in Arizona. Oregon's on him, Penn State, Washington, and of course Auburn with Golesh, like you mentioned. So,
but D, as you watch these highlights, and I, it's not that I was trying to say he wasn't mobile, right? Because he can move. But this offense is not like a gimmicky offense, right? Where he's being asked, where they're just like giving him the ball, and it's all these designed run plays. Like, he's moving around to, and we see him take off here, right? But he's moving around to try to push the ball down the field. Nice touch there. I mean, I like this offer a lot, and this is without knowing, what's his athletic background. Does he play in other sports? All the stuff that you like. But some of the throws he's making here, and just the frame too. I mean, he looks a legit 6'2", 6'3". He's listed as 6'3", but it looks a very least a legit 6'2", and can put some good weight on. I like some of these throws though, and the arm angle stuff. It's popping up here as well. Look, he can run. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to Byron Brown.
There you go. That's
running someone over.
There
he is, someone running someone over. This is the beautiful thing about, because I watched the first couple of minutes of the tape, but as we continue to go into it, I like how the passing stuff was first.
Yeah.
Right. But look, a lot of this stuff is improvising on these aren't designed run plays, which is what I really, really am enjoying about this player right here.
No, this is a real offense that they're playing, real throws. Chandler, like I mentioned, you look at all those pros that have come out of there, and that was an incomplete list. I just gave you some big ones. This program produces NFL players all the time. But yeah, Pete, I mean, I agree with you that he's not the strongest guy, but definitely loose athlete. I like just the way he moves in terms of the ball's coming out from different angles. He's quick twitch in terms of like short area. He's not just a guy that needs a runway to run straight. He can make guys miss in short areas. There you see design pass, man coverage, gets an easy first down. So this is a loose athletic player with production. There you see him rolling left, threat to throw, and then runs it in. Arizona quarterbacks are pretty popular these days. Spencer Rattler is an Arizona guy, if I recall. Isn't Brock Purdy an Arizona guy as well, if I remember correctly? Who
was it else? Damon Williams, is he Arizona?
Yeah, I think he's at Arizona as well. So you're seeing these guys come out more and more, especially as Arizona population wise kind of on the up and up, right? So you see more people moving from California and all these different places to Arizona. So Arizona, I think
Damon Williams is from Chandler, different high school, but same city. So
there you go. And this is all Phoenix area, suburbs. So I think you're going to see more and more players come out of Arizona, more and more quarterbacks come out of Arizona, just as populations.
Well, and good weather. I mean, it's like South Florida, right? Good weather year round. You can be training outside.
Lots of space.
So
yeah. No, it's a good place to play football. I know
a lot of facilities. A lot of facilities. I mean, a lot of great. NFL training facilities out there and stuff. So it's a hub in the off season, no doubt, for pros.
So let's talk about some of the big boys, Pete, because obviously it wasn't just the quarterback that got the offer. Some potential quarterback protectors getting offers as well. And what struck me is the location of these offers, because Miami is really being aggressive in the Midwest, where they've been able to land some tight ends. Just landed Jackson Canwell. Is that the Midwest? Is that the South? I don't know. Southwest Missouri. You guys let me know in the chat what that qualifies as. But Miami's big.
Midwest to me.
That's Midwest.
To me, it is. I listen. I've been to Columbia, Missouri, a handful of times. That does not feel like the South to me. But
we'll see where it is. But it's not. It's obviously not the Southeast. So Miami's expanding their recruiting footprint, and I think they're going to Midwest for tight ends, for linemen, for big, tall people. And some of these guys, these offers here in the Midwest, definitely fit that bill, Pete.
Yeah, we'll start with Gus Corsair, interior offensive lineman from Kansas. So, and I love this. He's got a top 15 plays from his junior year. So that's always nice. Listen, on 247 has him at 6'2.5", 285. I'll tend to go with that over the huddle ones, but another top 300 player nationally here, 4-star on the composite and 247, and #1 player in Kansas on the composite. So we see it sometimes when you go into these states that you wouldn't always expect a boatload of talent, like Isaac Chukwura last year was technically a Delaware product, but #1 player in the state. So,
And you see this guy. I've seen pictures of him on Twitter. You can tell from just looking at him in pads. He's a well put together young man, lean. I mean, not fat at all. I mean, if anything, he needs to put on some weight. But he is lean, moves very, very well. Flexibility, you could just tell from his stance and the way he gets under guys, which is key for a center. There you see him. I mean, he really, to me, looks very much in the mold of what Miami wants at center, which is with the athleticism, the ability to get low, the tenacity. He's a functional athlete as well. When you talk about the discus, 152 and 3-inch discus PR as a sophomore. So he was a state qualifier. He'll continue to move up there. The demographic part of it, you're talking about a guy who's in a town of less than 22,000, over a little over 21,000.
See how big that center is? I'm sorry. You see how big that center is?
I know they got the big boys out here for this small town. Look at that.
Look at 70.
70's a big man. They got a college size offensive line. This guy looks small out here.
70. I don't listen. Speed may give him an issue there, coach, but I got some big boys.
Don't mess with Hays, Kansas, man. So yes, again, Hays, Kansas, smaller town by by Eastern Coast standards at 21,000. Oklahoma, Kansas State, those are the teams that are thought to be leading, which makes sense just given where he's at in Kansas. But he said a commitment was coming soon. He's got a lot of new offers. I don't know if that's something he pushes back, but Miami's definitely going to make a push here. There's a reason why they're going out to get this guy.
And you got to think this is going to be a big offensive line class for Miami, right, D? I mean, it's going to be a lot of numbers. I haven't sat down and really looked at it, but I got to think maybe like 6 offensive linemen in this class.
I say load up on offensive linemen.
Maybe more.
Just seeing how the portal has been lately, you can get offensive linemen in the portal. Obviously, center Miami's gotten. James Brockermeyer might be drafted this year. Matt Lee was probably the best center in the country when we had him. Zach Carpenter did his job on the number 1 offense in the country. So Miami's gotten centers from the portal. Beyond that, you did have Cohen in 2023. But I think in general, the portal is a little lighter on offensive linemen. The more you get into it, particularly when you talk about tackles, centers, which he's going to play, maybe a little easier. But to me, I like to get these offensive linemen in high school and develop them, especially when you have the best coach at that position, right? The longer they're here, the more they're going to be with Mirabal. So get young guys. You can recruit offensive linemen. You got the right rep to do so. So I think linemen, get them in high school, develop them with your good developmental people. Make sure you have the body types and physicality and all the traits you want, and then go from there. But he was not the only guy that we offered in the Midwest beat on the offensive line.
So a couple more guys here. Will Schlegel from Iowa, and he's the number 1 player in Iowa. It's interesting because 247 is way higher on him than the composite is at this point. They had 247 has him as 198 on their rankings. So he is a top 200 player in their rankings, 6'4", 280. Composite has him at 321 nationally, but he's a top 10 to 15 interior offensive lineman in the country. And you see him, he's playing left tackle, which will slide inside at the next level. But solid looking athlete here. Yeah,
and when you look at a picture of him, he looks like his name is Will Schlegel. He looks like that kind of guy.
He doesn't look like a young kid necessarily. He looks like he still has obviously some room to grow, man.
No doubt. See him move. This is a guy, again, Grinnell, Iowa. We know what Iowa does with offensive line. Population 9,000. So we're talking about small town, but highly ranked. He was committed to Iowa State. His dad and his uncle played there. He decommitted when Matt Campbell left. Iowa's on his list. Penn State's on his list. When Iowa's recruiting an in-state lineman, obviously your ears perk up. And then
Penn State, you have to think that Penn State has Campbell at Penn State has more ammo than he had at Iowa State. So
no doubt. He knows the player. So obviously he thinks this guy can play in the Big Ten, and the ranking, the tape, everything suggests this is a real dude. Probably, I don't know. What do you think, Pete? I think you said slide inside. I think guard here for Schlegel.
Yeah, guard. I just don't know how long he is.
Right.
But he's already like, sometimes you can see these guys he can still put really good weight on D, but like you said, he's already kind of like, you see the core and you see that and you say, man, he looks real strong there already. You want to keep him moving. You don't want to put 50 pounds of weight on him. Right.
Right.
So
all these guys look pretty lean and mean, man. They're these Midwest guys. They're in shape. They're strong.
Strong.
They're technically sound. If you took, and by the way, the thing was crazy when you see these small towns. I'm saying like population 9,000, 21,000. If you take these offensive lines and just import them to Dade County and put them in front of like, I don't know, Northwestern or some of these other schools, you'd never lose. I mean, these small towns, their offensive lines look awesome.
And that's the funny thing is, like Gio Kane says, he seems like he's another SJ Alafatuli, bit shorter and lighter. I mean, this dude's 6'4". He's listed as 6'4". So let's say he's 6'3", maybe. But I think he's a few inches taller than SJ.
Yeah, this guy's definitely a guard. Maybe he's talking about, Corsair is probably more similar.
Yeah. And I still think even then Corsair is probably a couple inches taller than SJ.
Yeah, just surrounded by monsters, man. So interesting offers coming out of the Midwest. And then all the way back home, Pete, on the defensive line, Miami goes to Marion
Gator country
County, right? So Marion County, Denellen, right there on the Withlacoochee River. How you like that? So sitting on the Withlacoochee River. In Denellen, Florida, for Caden Robinson Vicker, 6'3", 260, 4-star player, number 23 D-line and in the country, number 19 player overall in the state of Florida. This high school, Pete, you started following recruiting around this time. This high school, the reason it sounded familiar when I looked at it, I had to look it up. Miami had a commitment from this high school. We ended up losing to Florida. This is really Florida State country. Laurenti McCray, I don't know if that name rings any bells.
Of course.
Like a linebacker. Yeah. And he ended up decommitting in that 2008 class that had all those great players, Arthur Brown and Sean Spence and those guys. He actually played 7 years in the NFL, so he was a good player. Even though he didn't do a ton at Florida, he was just a good athletic long player. This guy right here, defensive tackle all day, number 19 player in the state of Florida. So, he's got the pedigree, 55 tackles, 19 and a half tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, 1 PBU, 1 fumble recovery. And I like this, man, because look, Florida's down. FSU's down. Georgia's not what they once were. I think we should be aggressive. They always say the state of Miami is from like Daytona Beach down to the Key West. I'm drawing the line at the Suwannee. Let's just get the whole thing taken care of, because Florida State and Florida are bad right now. Florida's going to spend some money and recruit, so they'll be a little bit tougher to deal with in terms of recruiting. But obviously the on-field product stinks. Their NFL product stinks. So let's get some of these dudes while we have a window and get them down south and then just get that footprint there. So I say state of Miami in 2026, draw the line at the Suwannee River. That's what I'm doing.
I'll tell you who this guy reminds me of just in recent memory, and I think from a similar part of the state there is Micah Newton. Very similar body type. Micah Newton, I looked it up, was listed as 6'2.5", 255 on his 247 profile. This guy's listed as 6'3", 260. They kind of use him inside, outside a bit, and just the way that he can kind of contort his body, at that size and generate power as well as the quick spoon. You see that?
Yeah, functional movement. He's not a stiff guy at all.
He's probably a little bit bigger than Newton. And he still has the jury's still out on him. We'll see what he can become here at Miami, but similar body type to me, D. Is Newberry not in that same area?
Newberry's closer, is more central.
Orlando,
to
Orlando,
Gainesville.
I think.
Yeah, it's close. And Orlando, Gainesville. Yeah,
this is up past the villages, is where.
Yeah, this is a little north of Tampa, Marion County. Yeah, on the Withlacoochee. Clutch, appreciate your support. Says, screw this, DJ PDP, spin that Malachi is king. We've got a lot of requests for that country ditty that I dropped on yesterday's show with Mike Ryan. I think I'm going to release it as a segment there, Pete, just because the people have been asking. I've been getting a lot of text, so I think I need to settle that debate.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm believing that the people have been. I mean, I guess, listen, we just got one in the comments here.
But I tell you, man, again, text all day. I'm sure you got your phone was blowing up with requests.
I got one text about it. I said it on the show.
Well, it's an underground hit, and we'll see where we go here. But yeah, Pete. So interesting round of offers. We'll continue to break all these down on the Canes Insight Daily podcast. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, there we go. It was a banger. Here we go. Wait, you got a banger from Robbie P. Mark Pink, not as enthusiastic about it. I guess it just depends on what you're into. But yeah, Pete, I'll be recording here with JD here in a second, and we'll be back on at 10 to talk about the wide receiver position, a very loaded position for the Miami Hurricanes. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. A lot of requests. This should be an intro song. Clutch says, "Thank you, boys, found a new intro song." Kyle says, "Mike Ryan's new intro song should be the Malachi song."
We can never replace the Marty intro.
Yeah, shout out to Marty. That's a great one with the horns. Nothing beats it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll let. We're gonna say.
No, we had a comment here. Right here, our guy Andrew just touched down in Miami for some R&R. Already looking forward to some East Las Canarias. So just had to shout out our boys at the number and girls at the number one Cuban restaurant on the planet, East Las Canarias Cuban Express. 7 different types of croquetas, sandwiches, gubaritos, you name it, salads, sweets. They got it. East Las Canarias Cuban Express, right there in the Dayland Dining Pavilion. And look at all the gear you can get, including the classic Canes Inside Edition Croqueta County tee, limited edition, right there. Boom. Very impressive. Look at this guy styling with the Croqueta County Canes Inside shirt. So get there. Get that at croquetacounty.com.
All right. We'll be back at 10 o'clock here, D?
Yes, sir. We'll be back at 10. Like and subscribe to the show.
Go Canes. See you guys soon.
Go Canes.